Subscribe to my channel before we start this, because this is one story you'll want to watch all the way through. He abandoned me on a storm-soaked road, 37 miles away from home, told me I needed to learn a lesson. I didn't argue. I just stood there and watched his taillights fade into that violent rain. They flickered one last time, like a dying pulse, and then vanished. The whole sky smelled like gasoline and humiliation. But underneath that sting, something colder finally settled in me. A black truck rolled up only minutes later, headlights cutting through that storm like blades. The window dropped, and there was Marcus, my bodyguard. No lectures, no questions. He simply unlocked the door. I climbed in with a smile. My husband's lesson was officially done. He just didn't realize the tables flipped tonight. We had met 8 years earlier in Florence. He was magnetic back then, charming in that predatory, calculated way. He said he adored how quiet I was, how I listened more than I spoke. I truly believed he saw me. He wasn't admiring my silence. He was just measuring how easy I was to mold. He grew his empire, while I spent years quietly crafting the man he pretended to be. I smoothed out his lies, smiled at the right functions, learned how power whispers while the world applauds. He called me his anchor. I didn't understand that anchors drown right alongside sinking ships. Then around a year ago, the storm began. Late nights, secret calls, cheap floral perfume lingering on his cuffs. I swallowed it quietly. I didn't show anything, not yet, because once you finally truly see a man like that, the world around you catches fire. The final confirmation arrived on a Thursday. He was in the shower, and his phone lit up beside me. A text, "She's asleep. I'll be there in 20. I stared at that screen until it dimmed and died. Then a tiny smile formed on my face, because I was finally awake. I never confronted him. You never hand emotional ammunition to the man aiming to destroy you. Instead, I started gathering my pieces. Accounts, passwords, files, every hidden offshore secret he assumed he buried beyond reach. He had me co-sign on everything. He believed that meant control, but in reality, he handed me access while he was busy lying and cheating. I was quietly rearranging the ownership of his entire kingdom, one silent signature at a time, one transfer after another. Marcus helped, of course. He had been loyal to me long, before my husband ever imagined it. Real loyalty is built on trust and better compensation. It took 6 months to prepare the board perfectly. I let myself look like I was falling apart, stopped attending events, even staged one loud crying breakdown just to be overheard. He relaxed. He thought I shattered. That's when men like him get sloppy. Then came the night of the storm. He wanted to talk. I already knew exactly how this drive would end. We reached a dirt road, and he slowed down, rolled his window down, let the rain slice through us. "You've gone soft," he said. "Too dependent." He smiled like a disappointed teacher disciplining a student. "Maybe this will remind you who's in control." He forced me out, then drove away. I didn't yell, didn't chase after him. The rain washed his voice right off of me. 5 minutes later, exactly on time, Marcus pulled up. By sunrise, his accounts were frozen. His board woke up to beautifully sourced evidence of embezzlement. All of it real. Every shell company traced back to him. And that other woman? She was on my payroll. She handed over every recording, every meeting, every whisper he thought was secret. By noon, police were waiting at his office door. By 2 p.m., his lawyers were begging me for clarity. I said nothing. That night, I texted him 4 words. "How's that lesson going?" No reply. But I know exactly what he saw when he tried calling me. My number was disconnected. My name wiped off every deed, every asset, every trace. He built an empire out of dominance, and I dismantled it without raising my voice. When he finally returned home, if you can still call that mansion his, Marcus handed him a tiny envelope. Inside was a single key, the storage unit holding every last thing he still owned, boxed and inventoried. I kept nothing, not as kindness, but as precision. That same night, he walked back into the storm. No one stopped for him this time. People ask if I regret any of it, if I still miss him. No, regret belongs to people with no power. Sometimes I think about that rain, though, how freezing it felt, how it stripped me clean. That's when I realized something he never understood. Lessons are not taught with cruelty. They're taught through consequences. And his consequence was me. Sometimes I drive that same road, windows down. Now the air smells like freedom. I still see the exact spot where he left me. But that's not where my story ended. That's where his did.